home, just bring yourself down onto your back. You might have a blanket on your mat, or you might have a blanket over you. So take a little bit of care and attention to how you set yourself up. So you want to be warm enough, comfortable enough. Be here for at least 10, maybe 15 minutes. If it's not going to be comfy for you to be on your back, you could absolutely be on your side. So I'm going to take just another couple of moments to allow you to get comfortable. And then perhaps you close your eyes. And you could do the whole of the practice with your eyes closed. So it's a different experience, and it can, with Yin Yoga, just help you to become more aware of what's happening within your body, any sensations, tones, perhaps any emotions that crop up. So this is movement of energy. In Yin Yoga, we call it Qi. In Hatha Yoga, it's called Prana. You can call it or see it however you wish. And it could be as simple as the way you see it is it's your breath. So we're going to bring our awareness to our breath. Maybe that's just by taking your mind's eye to your breath. Maybe that's by physically touching the low belly so that you can feel your breath. Very much about finding out what works for you. And for the next 2 minutes, we're going to focus on the breath. So you might just be able to focus on your breath, and that is just as it is. You might instead want to, when you breathe in, just say in your mind, inhale. When you breathe out, say in your mind, exhale. If that doesn't work, it could be in, out, it could be in, X. If your breath is really quite slow and deep, you might want to say, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. So we're going to spend 2 minutes here. Be present with your breath. It might be hard, particularly this time of year, just, can be so much going on. Everything is bright and loud. So let's take 2 minutes just to come right back to ourselves. The power of breath. Get distracted. Let's come back to the next inhale. And then perhaps you take a deep breath in through the nose, just let it out of the mouth. Well done. And you could return to that at any point you need. As part of your yoga practice, maybe it's just part of your life. If you need just to reground, regroup. Breath doesn't always work for everyone. It doesn't always work, every time we try and use it. So if you are more of a person who connects with the physical body, you might pick a part or an area to focus on as we move into each shape. You might be a person who works with words or with mantras or affirmations, and you could use those in the time and space. So one of the trickiest things about yin is the time and the space that it does allow. But actually, that's what we all need more of. And we could probably all use a little bit more grounding energy at the moment. So around Christmas and New Year, I've already said things are quite busy. We can feel like we're being carried away in a festive flurry. So we're going to work a little bit with the lower body, working through the feet, the legs, encouraging this energy down, bringing it down to physically ground us, physically white through the legs and feet, but also energetically ground us. So let's bring the soles of the feet onto the ground now. We'll slide them a little bit wider and we'll let the knees knock inwards. That's what we call constructive rest. So it allows your lower back just to really sink into the earth. So take the feet wide, knees in. And become very aware of the soles of your feet, of your toes, the balls of your feet, your heels, the distribution of weight that you can feel on the inner and outer edges. So this is just really about slowing down. And we're going to start to rock the knees from side to side in a moment. So try and keep the feet wide and the knees knocked in. And just with your breath, just inhale and rock to one side, exhale and rock to the other. So you'll feel, every part of the body is connected, whether in a physical sense, an emotional sense. You'll feel that starts to move from your feet up into the lower legs, upper legs, even into the hips, the lower spine. See if you can keep your upper body relatively still and flat to the earth with this. And just slow it right down. So this is like your opportunity for an hour to just be like, no, going slow. Once you come onto one side, just let the legs kind of be heavy and drop however they do. Try not to readjust them too much. I'm going to take a couple of breaths there. Become aware of the feet and the feet's relationship with the earth now. Bring the knees back to center, let them drop over to the other side. Again, just a couple of breaths there. Awareness of the feet, the legs, the lower spine. and come back to center. Step the feet then into about hip distance apart. I'm just going to take a little bit of rolling bridge just to get a bit of warmth and motion through your spine before we go into more of a stillness practice, so more of a yin practice. So push the feet into the earth, spread the toes. Even if you've got socks on, we can still do that. See if you can keep the feet really nicely down to the earth as you breathe in and start to lift your hips up to the sky. Breathe out and slowly, with control, lay the spine back down. Just take a couple more like that. Take one more if you're still moving. You can, of course, pause and rest at any point. Constructive rest is a nice resting position. And then we're going to draw the knees in towards us. So you might catch hold of knees, shins, backs of thighs, your clothing, whatever works for you. You might feel that your body kind of naturally guides you to have a bit of motion from side to side or round and round. Or perhaps it's just nice to be still there. And you have a strap just at the side of you. So reach for your strap and unravel it. And we're going to start to get some energy moving into your legs. Is this where you're like, I haven't got a strap? So pop the soles of the feet down onto the ground. And we're going to bring the right knee in towards us. So just everything nice and slow. You might need to lift up the upper body to take the strap around the arch of your foot. Nice deep breath in. Let's draw the knee in towards us. As we breathe out, start to extend through the back of your leg. And slide the hands down the strap. So we bring the elbows and shoulders to the earth. It's just a more yin, a more relaxed position. Try not to wrap the strap. Try not even to pull it too much. So there is a version of this in Hatha Yoga, but this is different. So for starters, we're going to be here for 3 minutes. So just have a little feel in to what sensations you're experiencing now. If they are quite strong, you might consider that you need to bend the knee, or you need to take the heel further away from you, so more towards me and bringing it in towards you. Then settle on a position that might feel that, you know, there is some sensation there. That is what we're looking for in yin, but that isn't too overpowering. Just become aware that you're breathing in, you're breathing out. Maybe close the eyes, settle here. Got 2 more minutes here. And one of our principles of yin is the stillness. So I'm not at all saying that you shouldn't move. There will be flow and flux anyway. It's, you know, we're not completely still, nor is the world around us. You might find that you need to back off a little bit. You might actually find once you start to soften, there is more space available. You are absolutely fine to release from a shape. Perhaps have that little bit of self-inquiry first as to why. So if it's because of pain, absolutely. If it's anything else, you know, do I just not like it? Is it stirring something up for me that I don't like? So there's a lot of time for inquiry. Got 1 more minute here. Breathing in and you're breathing out. Soften the face and the shoulders. And you might feel that you want to rush away and release quite quickly, but if you can, release slowly. So start to maybe bend the knee, unhook the strap, place the foot down to the earth. Let's just reground through both of the feet for a breath. And then we take our rebound. So rebound could be anything from 30 seconds to a couple of minutes, depending on what shape we've held. And it's really for you to kind of intuitively feel into, well, how do I need to move now? Do I need to stretch out my legs? Do I need to stretch out my whole body? So Yin is very floor and ground based. Now, sometimes you might feel like you need to stretch out or have a little bit of movement on the spine. We're not going to be on our backs the whole of the practice. And try and rebound in a Yin mindset. So soft, gentle, slow. We know where we're going with the other side now, but we don't know what sensations we'll experience. So we want to find those out along the way. So retake your strap and just really nice and slowly start to move into the left side. Inhale to draw the knee in, exhale as slowly as you can to start to extend the leg. Sliding the hands down the strap, just softening shoulders and elbows to the earth. Gentle hold on the strap. Have that moment of inquiry here. Does that feel too strong? Straight away, we know we're 20 seconds in. Does that feel okay? And once you feel like you are in the position that is going to serve you for now, just take a nice deep breath in now. And settle into the position and shape. So we can soften our upper body. Yeah, our lower body is quite active at the moment. We can soften into upper body. I'm going to take 2 more minutes here. And we've still got that really nice sense of being grounded to the earth through our right foot. Breathing in and breathing out. You might find that your out breaths are longer, they're a bit of a sigh. So the simpleness of sighing offers us relief. Just over a minute left here. You're free to leave the shape at any time, to adjust it. Just try not to fidget too much. If you notice that your mind is drifted away, you're distracted, what can bring you back in? Is it the breath? Is it focusing on a part or area of your body? A word? Maybe just telling yourself that the thoughts aren't useful for now because this is your time. Nice and slowly as before, just start to release the strap, bend the knee. You can put the strap to one side now. Place the feet down. Give yourself a breath to reground. And then what is it that you need from there? So sometimes it's quite interesting as a teacher because our bodies will kind of guide us into what might be a counter pose, and everyone will be doing a very similar thing. Other times we all need something completely different. And obviously we've all had different days, we'll have different jobs, we'll have completely different lives. So physically and emotionally, there is a whole world of difference. From here, just start to roll over onto your right hand side. So your yin side is your left side, but as we're just part way through our practice, we're going to roll to the right side. And just stay nice and close to the earth. You're just snuggled up on the side of the body. Start to push into the earth and bring yourself up. Take yourself slowly onto hands and knees. So we'll meet there with no rush. You could support your knees with a blanket. And as well as grounding through the feet, we can also ground through the hands. We just tend to walk less on the hands. Well, I do anyhow. Does anyone here walk on the hands? Go ahead and press a skill. So let's ground through the hands. Take the knees about hip width. You might go wider if that's comfy. And we're going to gently press through the tops of the feet. And take our awareness then to our spine. So it's neither kind of dipping up or down. It's quite neutral. We've not got a back bend. We might have a little one. So this is tabletop. Then we're going to start to move through the spine. As we breathe in, the belly drops. We gently open the heart with the chin. Breathe out, push through those grounded hands, arch the spine to the sky, look to the heart. So just take a couple more like that. See if you can be quite firm through your hands and through the tops of your feet. And maybe it feels quite smooth to flow through this, or maybe there's kind of parts or areas where you feel like it's not so smooth and there might be a little bit of stuck energy or stagnation. From here, we're going to just keep the hands where they are for now. Take the knees wider, turn the big toes towards each other. And we'll nuzzle our bum back towards our heels. So maybe nuzzling is just have a little sway into the hips. You might bend the elbows, cross the arms, rest the forehead on the forearms. You might slide the hands further forward. You might have a bolster or a brick or a cushion for the head. We're in child's pose. So this kind of literal bow down to meet the earth. If it doesn't feel right for you to be on front of body, then you could come back onto your back. You could draw the knees in, maybe take them a little bit wider, and that would just be a reclined or a reverse child's pose. Again, we're going to spend 3 minutes here. And while you're here, I'm just going to read you a little something. So you might choose to, if you are a person of kind of visual imagination, you might choose to bring that to mind. Maybe you just listen. You don't have to take the words in. There is not a quiz at the end. So this is called December in the Garden, and it's from a book called The Almanac by Lillian Betts. The gardener, well wrapped, emerges from the busy, warm, brightly lit kitchen in a waft of spiced fruits and browning pastry scents, and heads with purpose to the end of the cold, quiet garden. The earth is dark and damp now, the stems bare, and boots on the path disturb nothing as the slumber is too deep. Creatures and plants alike have made their peace with the cold and the wet. They are pulled back into the earth or tucked under a duvet of soil or crumpled, softened leaves. Only the robin might watch on, always nosy about events in what is now its territory, the gardener having temporarily withdrawn, save for the occasional foray outside to turn the steaming compost heap or to push cloves of garlic into the earth, planted on the shortest day to harvest on the longest. The gardener looks around, breath clouding, and then reaches up for the last remaining green, the evergreen, chosen as a reminder to those indoors that life still goes on out here in the solstice gloom, and that the light will return. Branches of holly heavy with bright red berries prick at cold fingers, a crown of thorns to make a centerpiece, bright with white candles and red ribbons. Arcs of ivy are gathered to lay across mantelpieces and to twine up banisters. One task on an endless tick list, the gardener retreats indoors. The rest of the garden is left to the short and already dimming day, quickly turning to the long solstice night. There will be other plants chosen to join the warmth and light indoors later, but they await their moment. The Brussels sprouts standing lopsidedly, the parsnips lying under the earth. And then, at this most unlikely moment of sleep and rest, when the garden is at its darkest, quietest, and most abandoned, there is suddenly a change. A constellation of lights clicked on, white and shining, twinkling, draped over hedges and bare tree branches, and echoing the bright stars in the velvety winter sky. A celebration of hope and new beginnings at this darkest of moments, and of new life to come soon. So the solstice falls in less than a week and is a reminder that we're still in the depths of winter, but that light returns as we start to head back towards spring. Nice and slowly start to unravel. Let's meet back on hands and knees. And however you make it there is fine. We're going to step our right foot forwards. So bring it over to the right edge of your mat. And from here, we're going to start to bring our bum backwards. And we're going to take a seated position. So turn your left toes out to the side slightly. So that's going to give space to your left bum cheek. Start to walk back. You might want to use a block or several blocks to sit on or place under the right side. And we're coming into our half hero position. So depending on kind of what your body tells you, if it feels okay, the heel is pointing up. I'm not sat on my actual leg. My heel is pointing up. The top of my foot is flat to the earth. If it's like, oh, no, too much, you could turn your foot out to the side. Hips are going to be forward. a little flex in that right foot. And we're going to take this maybe into a forward fold. So just feel that out. And if that feels like, actually, that's quite intense, just close the eyes. Keep a little flex in that extended foot, but be here. If you feel like there may be a forward fold here, and you're not really going to know until you start to come into the forward fold. So perhaps you take a breath in, lead with your heart as you breathe out. You're going to feel this in the back of the legs. So if you need to, you could pop a blanket behind the knee, and you just start to fold the body. Don't worry about catching hold of your toes. So this is our half hero position. Use these first few moments to inquire. So, you know, is there anything, might there be a prop that could be a bit more of assistance here? How does this feel? A minute has gone already. And we're constantly inquiring, really, because we're constantly trying to listen in. So each out breath could alter our physical state, our emotional state. Nearly halfway there. If you notice maybe that you're clenching the teeth or furrowing the brows, I invite you just to bring a little bit of softness into your face, into your shoulders. If you're folding, then bring a bit of softness into that fold, let the head be heavy. Just over a minute here. So, you know, this is quite a tricky position. It will impact everybody differently. Perhaps you've come back to and breathing in and breathing out. Maybe your awareness is on a part or area of your body where the sensation is quite strong. Last few breaths here. And again, even though we might kind of feel like, oh, get me out of this shape, nice and slowly. If we've folded, we start to lift the gaze. And we're leaning into that right side just to give us enough space to bring the left leg around. If there's another way that you want to get there, you feel that out. So both legs extended, we just take a breath, and then you'll rebound from here. Maybe you want to reground with feet to the earth. Maybe you want to lean back and just lift into the heart after your fold. These are all suggestions. Perhaps you just kind of want to hang around. And we're going to take it over to the other side. So again, what feels best for you here? I unfortunately don't know. I'll tell you what, it would be just the best thing ever to be able to x-ray everyone on their way and be like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Also, can I just, oh, I can feel how you feel. Great, now I understand. So we can either take this right leg back and find ourselves in our hero position. You could come onto your knees and come through it back into your lunge and then coming backwards. So knees and hips forwards as best we can. Either the heel points up, or if we're like, oh, that's quite strong, then we'll take the foot out to the side. So the only difference really here is when I take my foot out, I'm turning my hip inwards, and when I'm here, it's a little bit more neutral. Flex that left foot, feel out whether we need a little bit of support behind that knee. Maybe you stay here on this side. Maybe you breathe in, you're almost lifting the heart. And then as we breathe out, perhaps there's a fold there. Perhaps not, up to you. And if you notice you are distracted by the room or anything like that, then perhaps it's that you need to close your eyes. Sometimes we're distracted by like, oh, look at my toes, things like that. If you're finding that your mind is quite busy and there's a lot of internal world distraction, maybe it's a moment to just take that all to one side, simplify it with, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. Nearly halfway there. Softening again into the face, unclenching the teeth. Maybe sometimes we kind of push our tongue on the roof or the side of the mouth. Letting the shoulders drop. Just over a minute on this side. Doing really well. Last few breaths. If we folded forward, just slowly start to bring ourselves. Again, find what works for you. We might lean and then bring that leg forward. So there might be another way that we get there. Just pop your feet to the earth for a moment, take a breath. And you might then choose to stay there. You might feel like you need a stretch or a little wiggle. You might have a little massage, or, again, an interesting part of inquiry is to massage and self-touch. And then just drop the knees to one side. We're going to come back into our tabletop position. And then make our way into probably the only standing yin position. And we don't stay there for 3 minutes. So come on to the right fingertips, just step that right foot forward. Come on to the left fingertips, left foot forward. Could be hip distance. If the body needs it, we step wider. And we're softening the knees and letting our upper body feel heavy. So if your hands don't quite meet the earth and you want them to, grab a bolster, grab a block. If your forward fold doesn't feel quite right with your head just hanging, you could stack your blocks and rest your head on your blocks. So keep a nice softness to the knees here. This isn't really about extending the backs of the legs, although your spine is helping you to have a nice stretch to the backs of the legs. Keep breathing. If you feel dizzy at any point, then please just slide your head up and gaze towards me. So we're halfway there. We might spend a little bit longer there if we had a wall to support us, or, you know, just another human. There's only one of me. Last couple of breaths. Just really, you can imagine that all of your worries, your fears, all of your stresses just now flowed out of the crown of your head or out of your shoulders. Just like that. Absorbed by the earth and neutralized. Let's start to step our feet out wider. So we might find our toes are turned off the mat, our heels just on. I'm going to bend the knees and sit into our squat position. So I'm going to use a couple of blocks. You could use a bolster. If yogi squat is just kind of really like, that's not the one for me, come onto the bum and be in butterfly instead. So we're still turning outward with our hips. If you're in your squat, then maybe bring the fingertips down to the earth, or you might want to use your block to pop the hands on. It's a softer squat than our hatha squat, which is very kind of like upright and core. So you're heavy in between the legs. If you're in butterfly, you might choose to fold forward. And either way, we kind of witness how that just helps to open out through the hips a little bit. If you're in butterfly, perhaps it's the soles of the feet coming together that you're focusing on. If you're in malasana, perhaps you're feeling out the proportion of weight, the different parts of your feet there. So find what feels maybe not like, oh, this is comfortable, I could sit here all day, although this is a good position to try every day. Find what feels okay. Breathe in and out. And just see if you can offer it some softness. And this is our last kind of more active position. So it's passive in the way that it's still, and that's very much what Yin's about, but it's more active in the way that it's a little bit more muscular. We've got quite a lot of sensation perhaps in these positions. Then we're going to lie down and just enjoy relaxing. We've got 2 more minutes wherever you are. Halfway there. And breathing in. And breathing out. Just over a minute to go here. Doing really well. Perhaps bring awareness back to your feet, wherever they are, whatever they're touching, each other or the earth. Bring awareness to the hands, whatever they're touching, yourself or the earth. Last few breaths. Again, you might want to rush away from this, but try not to. If you're in your squat, perhaps remove any props that you have. Take the hands behind you. Just lower yourself onto your bar. If you're in butterfly, we'll just lift ourselves out of our fold. Bring the feet to the earth. So a nice counter pose for sort of like such a widening and external rotation might be to bring the knees together, step the feet out, returning inwards. With that, you might lift into the heart. Just suggestions. You might have a little move from side to side with the knees. Can I help you? And then we're going to come down onto the ground. So good practice in any class, really, just to have everything you might want around you for comfort, for a little bit of support. So yin can, well, it is a cooling practice by nature, but because some of our positions have been a little bit more active, you might find that you've maintained heat quite well. But when you come to lie down now, it might be that you get a little bit chilly. The heaters are on, but perhaps you put a blanket underneath you, over the top of you, 2 blankets over you. You might use the bolster behind the knees. You've got an eye pillow, although I lied about the strap, so who knows, what have you got? And there was 2 of us setting this much out, so we're clearly as useless as each other. So come down onto your back, and then just give yourself the gift of the breath there of, well done me, and now it's time to rest. And then perhaps there is a wiggle, a stretch, a twist that you want to finish with. Perhaps it just feels right that you've brought your body to the earth, you've tucked yourself in. You must stop coming in and out like that. Who is this stranger? He follows me home sometimes as well. It's very awkward. So perhaps close the eyes. You know you are welcome here. I'm here for the whole of your Shavasana. It can just help to switch the brain off a little bit. If that doesn't feel okay, that is fine. Maybe pick a spot to gaze at. So make that your focus point. And just start to allow a sensation of softness to run through you. Through the feet, the lower legs, the knees, the thighs, the glutes, your hips. Softening to the earth of the spine, of the shoulder blades, of the upper arms, elbows, lower arms, wrists, hands, fingertips, and thumbs. Relaxing the head, unfurrowing the brow, unclenching the teeth, softening the shoulders away from the ears. And we just venture down the front of the body, just settling at the heart space for a moment. So perhaps offering ourselves a bit of love or compassion or kindness. And then our journey continues down into the belly, where our breath unfolds. And maybe for Shavasana, we come back to I'm breathing in and breathing out. Maybe it's something else that works for you. There is nothing else to do now. Just enjoy a couple of minutes to just be. Begin to deepen your breath. Is there a deeper state of rest that you could be called to? And as you rest, just hearing the sound of the chime. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Just nice and slowly reawaken your body. Just be mindful of what and who is around you. Lull yourself to right or left. If you plan to go home, just go to bed and have a very relaxed evening, you might consider rolling to your left, just to keep that energy of the yin. But go where you are called and what feels right for you. And then perhaps with your eyes closed and really slowly just push into the earth. Start to make your way up. Find a comfortable seat. Just take your time. Maybe have the eyes closed or just a sleepy gaze. You might bring the hands onto the heart. You might join the palms at the heart space. And just drop the chin towards the chest. You're bowing to your heart, to yourself, thanking yourself. We also acknowledge each other and thank each other for sharing our practice, our energy, our time. And thank you for trusting me to guide you. May light and dark in me honors the light and dark in you. Namaste.